Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Sorry I didn't do a video last Friday. Been doing a lot of work in the shop, building other shelves up high, trying to get things off the bench so I've got more room for new tools or something. But I'm gonna release what I have of a mess, the bed extension. It really helps if you're going to do a video showing somebody how to do something if you know what you're doing. In other words, if I would have done this before and then did a second bed extension, the video would have been completely different. I got kind of messed up because not just a few minutes into it, I realized the very first instruction that LMS had for this thing was wrong. And I watched somebody else too doing a bed extension on YouTube. I said, well, dude, you just drilled 4 holes in the wrong spot. Oh well. So I'll show kind of what I have. It's a little disorganized, but you'll get the general idea, and it's beautiful. It was well worth the money to get it. I now have what, a 7x14 or whatever you want to call it lathe. The bed is longer than what they advertise as. So, but first I'll take you over to the bench. I want to share a new book for what it's worth. And then at the end, I'll do another one of those what is it's, see if you guys can get it. So, see you hopefully next Friday. Another book sharing, if you guys are interested. Move the mic out a little bit. Metals Handbook, Volume 3, 8th edition. Amazon still has another one. This was $10, $11 with tax, but wow. This is my 8th book. The library is growing pretty fast, but this, I mean, turning, boring, tree painting, shaping, broaching, drilling, everything is into here. Die threading, thread grinding, cutting tools, and high-speed steel, cobalt. Oh man! And it's 1968. Yeah, I think it was 68 when it was happening, right? Oh, they have a listing of the other ones, the other volumes. But wow, and contributors are crazy. Oh, here it was. Yeah, 1967. So this is not that old, but a lot of contributors to it. The index here blew me away. I mean, turning, boring, like I said, tree painting, shaping, broaching, everything's in here. Milling. I think there was heat treating too in here. Reaming, die threading. Everything I need to know. And again, these are not books that you just sit down and read from cover to cover. They're reference material. So when you want to do something, then you pull a book out and read that section. Ultrasonic machining. Oh, here's EDM and ECM, which I've never heard of. Plasma arc machining, grinding of gears. Oh man, lapping, honing, everything, grinding. Come on, I can't get the next page. It just keeps going on and on. It's a thick book, tall. Cobalt stuff, high-speed steel materials. Machining of stainless steel and heat-resistant alloys, right? Machining of non-ferrous metals. So it's going to be interesting to go through this book. Copper alloys, lead. Oh yeah, right. Boring tools for lead. Man, my best recommendation: don't even stick lead in a machine. It is a nightmare. It's so soft and gummy. But in any case, you know, this is the book, guys. There's lots of pictures. I mean, it's insane what's in here. Oh, drill bits, drilling. Talk about all the angles and stuff. So, wow. So this is going to be really fun to go through. Oh, counterboring. Nice. I have a whole counterbore set. And countersinking. So if you guys are interested, it's an incredible book. Been dreaming about this for a long time, probably years. Little machine shop, 14-inch bed extension from my lathe. UPS just delivered it and the whole bottom is split open. So hopefully it's in good shape. Geez, I'm completely split. Just the sides are taped here. Can't cut it right here. There. Well, it looks like it's well packaged, I guess, huh? They threw the invoice in the box first, huh? Okay. And the sides of the box are fine. The top, the other side has to be the top, I think. I don't know. Well, here it is. Boy, lots of packaging. What is that? Just something that says LMS, huh? It is heavy, too. Let me tell you, it took everything I had to lift it up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Not really greased. Looks clean, though. No rust. Yay. And lead screws down in here. Oh, and the chip trays on the bottom. Wow, look at the length of this thing. Looks like it's really well machined, I hope, huh? Alright, well, there's the feed screw. More packaging. More packaging. And more. Oh, there's the rack down here. This looks pretty nice too. Wow, yeah. Very well machined. Maybe LMS found a different vendor or source for better quality stuff. That looks nice. Anything else hiding in here? Doesn't look like it. This must be the bed, huh? Got that. Hey. I know there's going to be some machining and painting and stuff I have to do. Found out a long time ago that the Harbor Freight lathe is colonial red satin. Wow, okay. Broken stuff. Yeah, it's broken, alright. Trash, 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 trash. To get it out, it's gonna be something, right? Yeah, this is the heavy part. Something's holding it. I don't know how it's packaged. Hey, on the floor. Boy, man, wow. That is one chunk of steel. Cast iron, whatever. Chip tray. Looks good. It's not bent, kinked, dented, or anything. So it looks like, oh, no, that's plastic is scuffed, that's all. Oh yeah, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with all the old stuff. Yeah, this is going to be oiled in a half, huh? Gardeners are here, you can hear them outside. Not my gardeners, my neighbor. Hey, man, wow. Oh, this is the bottom of it. What I care about is the top, right? Oh, it's painted red. Holy cow. Brighter than mine. The picture showed it being painted different. It's kind of nice getting a new one anyway because I've got a few dinks in it from accidents over the years. Oh, man. Alright, one piece of plastic's off of it. How do you get the other one off? Yeah, this is what's going to be greasy, so I need gloves. Where are some gloves, folks? Never fails, you just want one pair and everything comes out of the box, right? Yeah. Is this one set? Looks like it. Hate using these gloves up. They're my favorite from Costco, and when the pandemic hit, they just disappeared. So I think there was a shortage, so they're sending them all to hospitals or something, and they just never got them back. They only have these thick blue ones now, which I don't like. So, wow, I'm surprised it's painted. Oh, even inside. Wow, they did a nice job painting it. And there's all the grease, so I was prepared. Wow, nice. Oh, this is like excellent grinding on this thing. Huh. Alright, well, how do you lift this side up to get the bag off? There we go. Jeez, why do I have to drill though? Yeah, this appears to be really, really nice. Paint over spray. This is what tilts the head on you. Wow. I gotta keep this thing really nice and shiny, boy. In my usage. Paint over here. Paint over here. That's gotta come off. Sheesh, is the whole thing oiled? I don't think so. Run a tap through these bottom holes to clean them up. Alright, so let me just do some examination and clean up off camera. So far, boy, pretty trick. Instructions. Position the left end of the new rack 1 3/4 inches from the right edge of the right front headstock mounting hole. That. So I did measure it out, put a mark, put this here, transfer punches, ding, ding, ding. Then it says use a number 40 drill bit, so I use my drill hogs in there. Tap it now. Alright, a complete step back. Reason is I had drilled the 2 holes for the rack, and I'm looking at this and their instructions. That's the same length as this, but when I measure the gear that's going to ride on this, when it's all the way to the right on the other lathe, I'm pretty sure the hole's in the wrong spot. The gear's going to fall off of this thing. So, and it also depends on where the lead screw goes and all kinds of stuff. So I said, forget it, let me back up. First, I was going to paint over the thing because I don't like the shiny gloss that they have. It's supposed to be semi-gloss. So I said, forget it, let me just take all the paint off this thing because they've got it all over the surfaces that I have to count on. So, kind of few hours, one side almost done. You can see this thing is fly cut. It's a beautiful surface. I don't know why their paint was so bumpy. It's like they just put on coat after coat after coat because it's ridiculously thick, especially on the ends. So I'm going to strip this thing completely down, clean it up, make sure the surfaces I need perfect for the carriage to ride on. It rides onto the front and the back, and paint the thing. Tape it off nicely, paint the whole thing, and then I'm going to start marking out where things go to make sure it's going to fit right. Because these 2 holes, if I have to shift it to the right, which I think I have to, I can easily cover up the holes that I just made. I've got, you know, a good, I think, inch here. In any case, if you see the hole, so what? But I'm pretty sure it needs to be, rather than, what did I say? They wanted 1 3/4. I'm saying it's like 2 inches down. Because the gear, let me measure it again here, I'll show you. It's right here. The carriage all the way to the right, and I go in here for the gear, right? Yeah. 4.3. So 4.3 inches from the edge is right here. This would be the edge of the gear when I'm all the way to the right on this 10-inch machine. So that still says something's funky. Where is this guy on this machine? With respect to the edge, because I think it's all going to be the same. Yeah, whoa, it's way over there, huh? Almost 4 inches. So almost, there you go. So I'm very close to where I need to be. If I have to come down to here, yeah, I'm just uncovering the hole. I'm hoping I can do it just a fraction over. So I'm covering just the hole, like that. That's 4.3 inches. So I'll bring you back when I get this really stripped down and repainted. There it is. 2 days of work. Let me raise the camera a bit. I've got a nice, clean, little touch-up to do here. Tape off and touch it up. Not much I can do about the red on top. I'll wind up just spraying that, and I'll tape this all off and then just spray the top with the satin. But I'm pretty much so ready to... What is all this junk in here? I don't know where that came from, but... Oh, that's from the other side, so I can blow that out, get rid of it. A little bit of red here from something. Oh, a little chip. Come on, get off. Hey. It's gone. But I've got my edges all nice, smooth, ready for the saddle. I can figure out where everything goes now, huh? Yeah. So this is the key part. I gotta get this guy first in the right spot. Why is there junk here on the edge? Yeah, there's always going to be a little bit more clean here, touch here. Oh yeah, paint remover took it off there, so no big deal. Where's my brush? Does I see dirt in there? Yeah, there's dirt in this whole thing. Yeah, fine. Like, and already kind of ran the tap through a bunch of the holes. I got to run it back through the bottom. The bottom was raw steel. It's now primed. Looks like I missed a spot here. So yeah, there'll be a little touch up. No big deal. But I can start marking this thing off. Oh, actually, I'm supposed to set this with the saddle and the apron, and the half nut clamps this, and that sets the height. So I'll finally be able to set this thing where there's no play, at least between these two, whatever they call them. It's already loose, huh? No. Okay, so onward and upward. Oh man, junk on it everywhere. Day 3, I have to walk the camera around. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the old bed, but it's over there. And I'm going to try to salvage that chip guard somehow, because there isn't one for the new. Had to move, back up a bit here, had to move the mill all the way to the edge of the bench to make room for this new guy. There's the new tray, and I can't go any more to the right with the tray because then I can't get the tailstock on, so... And I'll have to remake an entire back here out of MDF. I don't have a piece long enough. I need, what was it, 60 inches or so. And I decided to paint the thing since it's a lot of work to reassemble it. And this paint job is far better than what the factory did, man. That was nasty. So I've got parts all over the place. Here's the bench. It's got all the parts there. And then there's more stuff over here on this bench. And painting the motor bracket. I'm just going to do primer rather than painting it the red or whatever. So it's coming along pretty good. I'll film more as I get closer. But I'm really pretty thrilled with this. Camera, it looks like bright red. With my eyes, it's way darker than that. But I'm loving it. Alright, it's pretty much so painted, and I guess there are a lot of holes that you have to drill and tap. So I put the headstock, I want to do the feed screw. So the saddle's on there, it's not clamped down. The feed screw's in there, but I need to see how far out to poke it. So I've tightened the headstock down. I've got this just sitting on here. I probably should tighten it. Make sure it stays clamped against the head. But I've got the banjo here, and the problem... Oh, that was that piece. Problem is the banjo sits on this thing, but there's no specific spot. They don't have the hole drilled and tapped for this guy. their instructions are kind of weird. So what I did was I put a piece of tape on the original bed, then to the bottom, cut it off with an X-Acto, so I've got a straight edge against this edge, and tape this on here. You can see there's a dent in there. I just ran my thumb in the original hole, center punched it. So according to my little guy, this is an 8mm, right? 8mm 125. Yeah, then I got to drill it and tap. So I'm going to do that off camera because I know that's going to be a while. I know you probably can't see this, but I'm trying to clean up the threads for the motor mount. And I guess for this much money you don't get washers, so I had to supply my own washer. And the nut goes on the outside. I didn't read the instructions, but... So here's the tap, 10mm 125. Boy, these... I don't know whether... It feels like I'm cutting threads, I'll tell you that. So they probably didn't do a good thread job. There, now it's starting to go easier. Easier. No sooner said than Again, this also is my Irwin set, which is pretty good stuff. I like them. There. So, and now I just run this thing in with an Allen and set it in position. I'm pretty far in now, right? Yeah, it's getting pretty easy. Can't tell. Oh, and I tilted it. I've got it on a piece of wood here. Oh yeah, it taps through. I run it in more anyway. Oh yeah, it gets tight right there, huh? Well, yeah, I'm glad I decided to run it in more. Got a little touch-up paint to do, but I'll do that later when just before I move it into its final position. There. Alright, back that out. I'm sure there's junk all over the place. And I'll be done with this part. Oh, here's the motor mount. Hey! Yeah, I just primed it, and I guess it just goes in there and pivots on this pin thing here, and you set where you want it. So this definitely is a far better motor mount than the original one. The original one kept wanting to tilt the motor, and it was miserable trying to get the belt tight and get that thing in place. Got this all kind of set, but it's going to be a pain trying to figure out exactly where these holes go and then drilling it. If it's going to walk again, I'll probably wind up drill it smaller hole and then come back with the actual size bit. I may actually change the bolts out to smaller. That way I can shift it around. These are the screws right here. And there's not much play in there. Well, I'll drill and tap it to those because I can always enlarge these holes. Okay, so that's done. And I need to go in that way. Oh, washer's on the wrong side. Alright, washer. Stick it in the hole. Beautiful, works nicely. Alright, so put these away. It's getting there. Where is 150 right there. That's home. That's back. Alright. Heavier than I'll get out. Alright. Yeesh. So there's a piece of wood. I guess I can put the motor in there because I want to line it up. And I'll probably just leave the motor in place. You know, the reason why I did all of this is I figured, yeah, their dimensions are off by 1/4 inch for where this rack goes. But, wait, why are you not, oh, I don't have the rack in there. Oh, because I'm lying on it, yeah. Hey, don't slide out. One hole left to do for the rack. Oh, I can't slide it, but, okay. Had a pipe tap from Harbor Freight, part of their set. And had a hard time threading. So I went and bought, blow this out, went and bought an American tap. Went right in without a problem. These are the 3mm by 0.5 threads, screws for this rack here. And I had in the drawer an Irwin taper tap, which I was using and fighting it. So it felt like the tap was going to break off. I gave up doing any deeper because I knew it would break. I went to the plug tap here and it's just going in like nothing. So I have a defective taper tap. So I just now went to look and I don't think it came from Amazon. It's going right in, no problem. Came from Amazon. It's not in the orders. Ooh, that's good. It just gets one spot tight and then it eases up. So it didn't come from Amazon. I must have gotten a set off of eBay. Even backing up, that one trying to back up was stiffer than all get out. This one backing up, I don't feel any resistance. This is going to go right through. There it is, through. So I got to redo this hole because I had quit on that. Definitely a bad tap, especially when you can go in with a plug tap where it's really cutting threads all the way down. So I'll trash that one. I'll wait for the new, what was it, Drill America set that I bought. Be some time before I can test it. So might as well finish doing this other hole too, since I had quit on it. There it goes in. It's not cutting anything yet, but yeah, when it gets to the bottom it will, because that's when I had quit. So I'm almost done. There it is. It's cutting now. No problem. Look at it. Just goes right in. Through. Done. Not through yet. Wow, I gave up way before. Ooh, tight spot. Even though the screw did go all the way in anyway. There. Just went through. That was a lot of threads I didn't cut. So, yeah, like I said, if you got a tap or a die and you're fighting it, something's wrong with the tap or the die. Try another one. I know, what is it, UXEL, UXEL, something like that. It's all over Amazon. Don't buy that. It's always trash. I bought another grinding wheel here to try to run on the mill to grind, make it a surface grinder. That one, it were two of them. Both of them wobble like you wouldn't believe. It's like, well, come on, you know? Can't you guys make something straight? Those sides aren't even straight on it. Okay, so I just got to clean this up and screw the rack down. Closing comments on the bed extension, but I cannot tell you how happy I am to have this lathe back up and running again with the chuck. I use this so much. On the bed itself, yeah, I showed that I just completely stripped the thing down. There was a lot of runs, paint runs and stuff, so I'm thrilled with repainting it. On the mounts, these are just redwood, redwood 2x6 that I cut up, sanded to death, and painted it to keep the bed up so I can get underneath to get chips out. It's a lot easier. If you do that, the holes that are drilled for the rubber feet are larger. They're now 8mm, so your old bolts will not fit this if you want to put the rubber feet on it. The screws that I've used, they're almost flush right here, are 55mm long socket cap heads. So that covers that. They did show a lot of clamping of these guys. I just kind of ran the carriage down here, clamped it, kind of, I don't know how I positioned it. It was on the lead screw, feed screw. But somehow I figured out, okay, this is where it's supposed to be, ran it down here, did the same thing. I didn't drill and tap the bottom. The reason is this needs to turn like easy. Right now the gears are engaged, but if it doesn't turn easy at all by hand, you're going to have a problem. The gear in here that runs it, it's going to wear right out. So that's that part. There still is some kind of paint under here because this guy jams right here. So I got to get a mirror in there and see what's hitting what. Maybe it's hitting, I don't know. Okay, it doesn't come with this chip guard for the lead screw. This is the one off the original lathe. There's a giant hole here, so you can only put in one screw here, and I haven't drilled the other one for here. I measured from the bottom here down 2 inches, and marked it, and it seems to be the right height and everything for this to work. On this rack, the instructions are wrong. The instructions say you're supposed to be 1 3/4 inch from a hole that mounts the headstock, 2 inches. If you mount it 1 3/4 inches, when you get down here, the gear here is going to fall right off before you hit the stop. So that was one biggie. I saw somebody else on the video was drilling and tapping the holes for 1 3/4. He's going to learn real quick, wrong instructions. The motor, 2 bolts are in the front holding the headstock. 1 is in the back. The motor is so high up that you can't use the original socket head. They do provide a bolt. I didn't like the bolt though, putting that in there. So before you tear your lathe apart, you may want to take the socket head and machine it down so it's flatter and you have some room. The motor alignment is beautiful on it. You can just spin this and then move the motor left and right until you see the timing belt is on the center of the intermediate gear up here. That was easy to do. You do a lot of things. You do have to drill the 2 holes down here for this. You do have to drill the hole for the mounting thing for the banjo. There was a hole back here that I used for my light, so I didn't have to do that. I do have to drill 2 holes for my DRO to go back on here. The saddle fit perfectly. Nothing's rocking. It's solid. I still have to fix this. I hate that movement. What else then? Any other holes I had to drill? Well, you do have to drill these out. And if you want to do the bottom one, fine. The old tailstock just happened to fit perfectly and locks down nice and tight. I don't think that, yeah, no, I didn't. The back metal cover on the motor doesn't go over far enough to completely keep junk from going into the motor. So I'm going to have to tape or do something back there, because when you're machining aluminum or brass, tiny chips get sucked right into the motor because it's got a fan on it. So all in all, yes, I'm extremely happy with it, especially after I painted it. It appears to be perfectly machined. I haven't had any problems yet, so I'm very pleased. Well worth the money. It is a lot of work to do it though. Now, I know you guys are going to get this pretty quickly, but I want you to tell me how is it used and what gas goes through this thing. I can tell you there's some kind of posts here, so something goes in here and that must be an alignment for it. It's threaded down here and not threaded here. So I don't know what the threads are for down in here, but interesting. Fun little gadget. And I will tell you, it says DUPACO, Dupaco or something like that, San Marcos, California. So interesting little toy, very heavy too. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it after this video, but tell me how it mounts and what it's used for.